Well, if you're not enjoying yourself, you can't be successful, I believe. And the reason is because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work. So if somebody isn't enjoying it, they shouldn't be an entrepreneur.
Tim has always been considered one of the leading entrepreneurs in our industry. He works hard, he's aggressive, he's ambitious.
He is relentless in pursuit of the end goal.
Tim is a giant in the industry. He just is one of the most powerful yet gentle people that I know.
I think he's a legend, and he'll tell you that if you ask him. He's a legend because he's not afraid of new frontiers.
There are a lot of visionaries out there who come up with ideas and can't make them work, and he can do both.
He's a combination of intelligence, integrity, and business smarts that is totally unique in our industry. I don't think there's anybody quite like Tim Litle out there.
The 1980s were watershed years for direct marketing, and Tim's contribution, a payment mechanism whereby there was trust between vendors and purchasers, really opened the gates.
Catalog people had always been treated disrespectfully by the banks. They were sort of the outhouse of that industry. And Tim acted not only as their vendor, but also as their advocate.
You know, he ran a catalog, and he woke up and realized one day that no one could handle his payment processing the way he wanted it should be handled. So he just decided to do it himself.
Tim saw the power of the credit card and applied it to new industries in ways in which it was not purposed for in the beginning.
And Tim, if you want to, is the engineer that found a way to make it all work in a very cost-efficient manner. He competed with the best out there, with Citibank originally, and he beat them. You have to be brilliant to make that happen, and this is what characterizes him. Man is absolutely brilliant.
And then didn't he put those 3 little funny numbers on the back of the credit cards, making it even easier for us to do transactions without a credit card present? Now, as boring as that sounds, you gotta admit that is really, really brilliant.
Tim is different. He's not a guy who runs around in Armani suits. I mean, you know, he's a guy who runs around in $200 polyester suits. The first meeting I think that I had with him, I didn't know how to take him. I mean, he basically bored me to death. But he grows on you, and after you get to know him, you think he's the god of direct marketing.
Yeah, sometimes when he's talking technology, he loses me too, but he knows all the personalities in the business. He just knows more than any 5 people, and when he starts dishing on people, I find him actually fascinating.
One of the great attributes with Tim was that he always wanted to do what was right. And that didn't just mean for the customer or for the management or for the employees, but for everyone.
And you don't often see that. Usually the ulterior motive is, how do I make more money? But Tim's motive, I think, is very genuine and very authentic, and is all about doing the right thing for the right people.
Right by the rules, right so it's fair to consumers. That's a very big deal because he's in a position to influence the way business actually gets done.
One of the things that enabled me to really make the jump over to his company is that I just trusted him.
Trust, that's what Tim stands for in the industry, in his companies. You can rely on him.
I think he is just a very ethical and moral person, and I think that comes through in his day-to-day dealings with you and with everyone he works with.
He has a very high standard in business, and he inspires people to achieve that level, which I think is one of the unique qualities about Tim, and what makes people love him, probably challenged. He challenges people because of those high standards, but I think because of those high standards, he brings out the best in everyone around him.
Tim's greatest contributions to my company was that he prepared us to be a bigger company. We were relatively small when he joined the board, 100, 200 million. And I think what Tim said is where the pitfalls were going to be for me going forward and what I needed to do to be ready to become a $500 million company to be a $1 billion company.
I don't think when we started that payment processors understood our business and understood the idiosyncrasies of what we were trying to do, and Tim did, and Tim basically said, I understand what you're doing, and let's tweak your business this way. And because we made some few changes that he thought we should make, our business has been incredibly successful, and I'm convinced that without him, we probably wouldn't be in existence.
There was a few things that we were doing or not doing in our credit card processing that really needed to be cleaned up. And Tim came to me and I just said, okay, if you say so, go do it. And I think that he really did save our skin by some of the changes that he put in place.
He will always come up with ideas. He will always come up with proposals. And whenever I had problems, he's the first guy I call and says, Tim, what do you think we should do? When it comes to technology, payment processing, or any of that, there's nobody out there who's as smart as Tim. And he can give you really good guidance in it.
When I look at Tim, I think of him as a reincarnated cowboy. Think about Tim sitting around a campfire in the 1800s telling stories, because the one thing about Tim is if you get Tim on the phone, it's going to be a long call. And I just think back to sitting around a campfire and listening to Tim tell his yarns about his life and the things that have happened.
It's his wonderful ego that he puts in such great fashion. He joined our board of directors 7 years before he sold it to Talbot's. I think the stock was $7 at the time. We sold at $24, and only Tim would say that he took total credit for the entire 7 years of every achievement we made during that time. And of course, the minute he said that, there would be a twinkle in his eye.
Okay, Tim, I know we're here to celebrate your accomplishments, but frankly, I'm here to make a confession, which is that I am jealous of Tim Litle. And what I do now is get back at you the only way I know how, which is through your pocketbook. And Tim, take this, okay, for being so successful. Take this for all of your awards. Take this for having a son in the business. Take this for transforming so many industries. There you go, Tim. How does it feel, Tim? Okay, there it is.
You have to give the man a lot of credit, because despite of the fact that he built businesses that became superbly successful and became industry brand names, he never neglected his family. Tim is a great father and a great husband. I think Joan has a lot to do with Tim's personality and success, because I think she has him on a short leash and she manages him very, very well. From my perspective, his achievement as being a great father and husband is as important and describes Tim as well as being a great entrepreneur.
Tim, it's a gift to know you. You're a gift to the industry. I hope you keep on giving, and I look forward to the next few years.
Well, Tim, I hope you really enjoy the sports car that you're being presented with tonight. I hope you're only going to use ethanol in it, because I know how concerned you are about the environment. So please keep it under 55.
Tim, it's a great evening. I'm sorry I cannot be there, but I know you're amongst wonderful friends and family, and I just wish you all the best and look forward to seeing you and Joni in the near future.
So Tim and Joan and your two little dogs, and from my two little dogs to your two little dogs, I love you. I wish you the best.
Hey, Tim, congratulations. There's no one more deserving than you. As I've said many times before, we wouldn't be here without you, and we owe an incredible debt of gratitude to you. So thank you so much, and congratulations for this great honor.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, mein Freund. I'm happy you finally got this award.
Attaboy, Tim!